Well, hey there, it's your professional life coach here with Healing the Family. Thank you for stopping by wherever you are watching me, in your living room, in your car, at work, which you shouldn't be, but I like it anyway. I thank you for stopping by. I got a doozy of a subject to talk about today, but before we do, I need y'all to do me a favor. Can you like, subscribe, and follow? And share, all right? I don't know what platform you may be watching me on, but like, subscribe, follow, and share this video. Help me get the word out. I can't do it without you, all right? So make sure you share, and don't be afraid to engage with your girl, because I talk back, all right? All right, so let's get into the subject that we're going to talk about today. So, have you involved other people in your relationship? Maybe one person, or even two, that person that maybe showed up and you just said, well, come on. Or maybe you invited them into your relationship. How's that going for you? Now, I'm sure y'all like, what the devil is she talking about? No, I'm not talking about no after dark stuff, baby. No. I want to know how many people have been involved in your relationship. I'm going to tell you like this. I had an ex, and this is true. He said to me, too many fellas on the ship can sink the ship. Okay? And guess what, baby? That is exactly what sunk our ship. We broke up. Okay? Because too many people were involved in our relationship. And that is something that is dangerous and can tear up a home quicker than anything else. So today we're going to talk about that. We have 3 different areas and ways that we're going to deal with today on how people come into your relationship and they mess up your relationship. So the first area we're going to talk about is family. Listen, and I'm going to say this for women that are married, or even if you're in a relationship that has not made it to marriage, right? Involving your family in your relationship is dangerous. If you are not mature enough to have a relationship with someone else without running to your family every time you guys get into an argument, don't get into one. Okay? Now, if they're being abusive to you emotionally or mentally or physically, that's understandable. But y'all got into it because you didn't cook last night and you was upset about him, saying something to you about it. That's not something that you need to run and tell someone else. Because let me explain why. Because I hear somebody talking about, honey, I tell my mama. Let me tell you the problem, right? When you're in a relationship with somebody and y'all get into it and you go back and tell people in your family what was said or what was done that you didn't like and that y'all got into it about, when y'all make up, oh, I just love him. He's my boo. He melts my heart. I couldn't live without him, right? Your family members over there plotting how to unalive him because of what you said to them about what went on in your relationship. And now you can't understand why there's family fighting going on and arguing going on because you invited them into boundaries that they should have never been in. So let me teach you something that was taught to me, right? I was watching a wedding online one day, and there was a gazebo, and there was like a circle around it, but it was empty space. And there was a path for the couple that was getting married to walk down the path. But there was a space separating them from the guests from the gazebo. And they were all circled around it watching them get married. And I heard the pastor say something that really stuck with me all of these years. He said to them, he said, I want to show you. He said, it's very interesting how this place is set up. He said, because he said, what it's showing is a couple of different things. He said, in the middle in a relationship, it should only be 2 people. He said, and there, see that big space? That space represents boundaries that should be between you and your family and the people around you. He said, because when you start inviting people into this area, he said, there's only 3 of us in this circle. He said, and I am the one that's representing God, that is helps to bring that 3-strand cord together. He said, that's how much boundary space that you should keep between your relationship and your family and friends. He said, because the moment that you invite them across that, to cross the boundary and come into that safe space, they begin to drown out the voice of God. and now they cause drama in a relationship that they have no business in. And so what you're going to have to learn to do, just in case you need to bring somebody in because you guys are having difficulties because you can't get it together, okay? And I'm going to say this and people can get mad at me. If you are having problems in your relationship and you're getting closer to a divorce, don't come to me. Go to a counselor. I said what I said because I said it. Go to a counselor. I know there are coaches that say, honey, you can come to me and I'll fix your relationship. No, you go to a trained relationship counselor, because of the simple fact that we are taught a lot of things, but we are not taught everything. And so it's better to go to somebody that can fix your relationship than for you to bring somebody else's voice in there that does not understand the complete administration of a relationship. All right, so make sure when it comes to your family that you are thinking that thing through, because you could be setting up your person that you are involved in, your spouse or your significant other, to get hated by your family because you had not learned yet how to be able to deal with situations inside of your relationship. Because the moment that family gets involved, depending on their level of influence with you, your relationship or marriage could come to an end. All right, so we talked about your extended family, and I kind of added your friends in there. So let me give you a small caveat about with your friend. If you have a best friend, yet again, be careful what you say. If you don't have a best friend that will check you, if you do go to your best friend and say, honey, we got into it, and you don't have the type of friend that'll say, now what you did was wrong, you know you was wrong, go back to your husband and get that right. If you don't have one of them, and one of them people that's a ride or die that'll tell you the truth, like your girl, you don't need to be telling them nothing, because they'll be co-signing with you, yeah girl, and then come out, girl, I'd leave him. Let me give you a side note. You have to be careful about the female friends that's telling you to leave your man, because they may be trying to make you leave him so they can get him. That's just a side note. Thank me later. So be careful what you share with your friends. If you don't have a friend that's going to tell you the truth, that's going to get in that mess with you and be like, yeah, girl, I wouldn't let nobody, and I wouldn't. But they go home to their man and they're not cutting up with their man. Don't you listen to that, because you will end up single and you will regret the moment you opened your mouth to say anything to a friend. And can I tell you how I know? Because I have a friend. She was a friend of mine. I was young. I was like 19, 20. And she was my best friend. She was there when my son was born. She became his godmother. And today has a baby with my baby's father. So if you don't think that sometimes them girls are sitting on the sideline to wait for you to lose what you had, because they know how good he is, but you don't, well, he wasn't that good. But there are women that sit on the sidelines because they want what you want. So be careful, okay? All right. So that is a place that you want to keep safe. Here's the next one. Dealing with your children. Let me tell you something. You want to listen to your children, of course, when you get into a relationship and you're married. But dealing with singles, that's a whole nother video that I need to do separately. Make sure that you keep, especially if you're in a dating phase, keep your children and this person separate. Because if you guys don't work out, that man is going to be hated by those kids for life. You will never be able to be like, oh, he's so sweet and I just like him. They are going to hate him for life. And guess whose fault that's going to be? Yours. And then you're going to make them not trust any man that comes into your life. So I think I will do a teaching specifically on that, because children can become terrorists if they are afraid they're going to lose a spot also. So we want to make sure that, so I'm going to postpone, set this part to the side, and I'm going to do a whole video on that later. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about, we talked about your immediate family. Now we're going to talk about your friends and your community, people that are around, right? Your best friend, they are in that immediate circle of like your immediate family. Now we're going to move to the outer realm, that's just the second realm, which is like people in your community, people you know, that are not, they're associated with you, but they're not associated with you. All right, let's put it that way. People you go to church with, even some leaders, whoever it is, that but they're not in that core. You gotta be careful bringing outside couples. Let's talk about, if you've got married friends and you guys go out and you like to talk about your relationships, and so you guys are friends, right? So it's a husband, two husband and wife, and they're both, friends with each other. So the wife talks on the phone to the other wife, and the husband talks on the phone with the other husband. Now let me tell y'all what's happening. So y'all, instead of going out just to be friends and encourage each other, now you're on the phone talking to each other about each other's marriage, right? Now, here's the mistake with that. Now, I believe that every marriage, you should have a marriage mentor. What does that mean? These people have been married 30 to 40 years. Hear me. 30 to 40 years. They've got experience. You've asked God, do I need to talk to these people? Okay? Somebody that can look and say, hey, bro, what you said to her was wrong. You need to get that right. Don't do that to your wife. That can remind you, hey, I was there when you got married. You said that you loved her. That reminds you about your vows. Remind you why you wanted to marry her in the first place. Because let me tell you something. Whether you're in a relationship or you're married, you get to looking at that person and done something or said something. You just be like, you know what? Ooh, right? But you have to have somebody that you can go to and say, hey, I'm trying to see if I was wrong. I could be wrong. If I am, check me. You need people that are reliable, that are outside of that circle. But if you got friends that's been married like 3 or 4 years, just like you, and they complaining to you about their spouse, and then you go to them and they tell me, honey, I wouldn't let, first of all, don't bring people into your marriage, because guess what happens? When you get off the phone, they go back to their partner. Oh, they're having problems in their marriage. What? What's going on? Yeah, she just told me they having money problems, and they told me this. And then the husband get off the phone and call your husband and say, hey man, I heard you was having money problems, and I just wanted to see if there's anything I could do. Now your husband is upset because his business is now out in the street, and he feel like you degraded him as a man because you brought them in to the relationship. All right, that's one. Let's talk about another scenario where now you done told this person who's jealous of your marriage in the first place, and they go back and talk about it, and then when y'all get out, it's slipping out in the conversation, and they're taking shots at y'all. Yeah, they thought they were better than us. Oh, Jesus. And now y'all looking at each other, and he don't trust you because you done told his business, and she don't trust you because you done said something about her. Think about your spouse and the person you're with. Yes, everybody needs a village, baby, but baby, you need to make sure everybody that's in that village belong there. Because the wrong person in your village can tear down the whole village, and you'll lose everything. And if you're trying to stay together, keep people out of your business. I don't care if it's your best friend. If you know I wish my husband would treat me like that. They waiting for the moment you to say, girl, he hurt my feelings. So he said something to me. I knew it. I knew he wasn't no good. I knew he was too good to me. So make sure that you're being careful. Oh, she's so secretive about her man. No, it ain't none of your business what's going on in my house. Oh, she don't tell. It must be awful. No, my husband's wonderful. Y'all don't get no arguments. I wouldn't open my mouth to tell people stuff, because people are more jealous of you than you believe. All right. So make sure you're being careful with the people that you let into your marriage that is not in your nucleus. They're not in your safe place, that you don't have to worry about them coming back into the relationship and wreaking havoc on what's going on. All right, guys, here's the last set of people that you can drag into your relationship, and it's called ego. Now take a breath, breathe through it. Ooh, yeah, baby. Because there are many times that there's 4 people in your relationships. Oh goodness, I might have to bring in another one because something just came to me. What about your ego? Have you and your spouse brought your egos into your relationship? And now there's 4 people in this relationship, and 2 of them are really fighting each other, and it's called ego. Let me tell you something. There is no room in a marriage or a relationship for an ego. Because what happens when you start talking about your ego starts saying, well, you this and you don't deserve to be treated and should nobody say nothing, right? And so it's hyping you up and getting you looking at yourself, and you know, now you getting, he don't need, and you ain't gonna tell me nothing, and you ain't, right? So now you're responding. And this person is not a bad person, but now because your ego is feeding you, it's forcing you into a position and to do things that you would not normally do, and you are tearing down your relationship. There is no room for your ego in your relationship. If you say something smart, well, that's how I said what I said. That's ego. Ain't nobody gonna tell me, and trying to help you. Trying to help your little simple self. Whether it's a husband trying to tell his wife, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. Or a wife saying, hey, baby, listen, maybe we should think about this. Did you check out read the fine print? I'm a man and you ain't gonna tell me. And then you go get the loan and you sign your name, and now you're in a contract where you gotta go get a second job because you didn't see the interest. That's ego. And some of y'all got some alter egos, even name them, Girl, Becky took over. She took over. When she took over, right? And you are ruining your relationship. I heard someone say, I think it was Dr. Dee Freeman. She said that she had made up in her mind, ain't gonna be no division between me and you. Even when we get in this bed, you not sleeping down on the couch. Yep, we had a disagreement. Yep, we're a little salty. But what we not gonna do is bring division. When y'all sit down to talk about stuff, put your egos to the side. The reason we sitting down at this table is because we want to save our relationship. And the only way that we can do that is if we do it without fighting, and my opinion matters more than you, and you don't know as much as me, and you think. That is how you ruin your relationship. So if you want to know why your relationship is going downhill, check your ego. That may be the culprit that's got a hold of your relationship and is ruining your relationship. And if you don't get that toxic, infested, negative, hurt, lying alter ego or ego out of your relationship, you won't have one. Let me give you the last one that just came to me. All right, here's the last one. Your ex. Your ex. I really think that it's important before you get into a relationship that you deal with your exes. Some people call them soul ties. Some people say they don't believe in soul ties. You're an idiot. Let me tell you why. Soul ties are not bad. There are bad soul ties, but soul ties, you have a soul tie to everybody. You have a soul tie to your mother. You have a soul tie to your siblings. Soul ties are not just a sexual thing. It means there's something that's connected to my soul. That's why you can have a friend. I always tell people, you know how close you are to somebody by the level of information that you know. So the more that I get to know you, the more that I'm opening my soul and I'm becoming familiar with you. That's why you can have a best friend that they're going through something and they cross your mind and you pick up that phone and you be like, girl, how did you know I needed you? That's because it's in your soul. It's a soul tie, right? And so a lot of times we don't heal from relationships. We just jump up and jump into this one, and we brought all that toxicity into the relationship, right? Some of y'all are probably suffering through this right now. I'm like, girl, how did you know? I know, girl, I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to help you, right? Listen, when you have not healed correctly in a relationship and you broke up with them, they are still with you. And they are swaying every relationship that you have. They are interrupting your relationship. I remember giving an example to someone like, having your own entourage walking around with you. And every time you are talking to people, or a man is trying to approach you, or a woman's trying to approach you, they are talking. Now, I know you like him, but he can't stroke your face like I could. And he don't know how to touch your hair and pull it like I do. That mind of your ex is right there, causing problems in your relationship. Now, how am I supposed to know if my ex is still connected to my soul? When you're in your relationship and your spouse says something, or the guy you're in a relationship with, or the woman you're in a relationship with says something, and you say, ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that, because when my ex was talking to me like that, that was disrespectful, and ain't nobody gonna disrespect me. Here's the problem. You're looking at the person you're in a relationship with, but you're arguing with the person that you broke up with and is no longer here. And so now you've got 4 people that's in a relationship, because he's got his ex in his soul and you got your ex in your soul. And now you looking at them and you saying to your ex what you wanted to say to them through this man. But your ex is never going to know how you feel, because he done went on about his business. She done got married, ain't thinking about you no more, right? And so what we have to do is now steward our soul, because those exes and that we did not get rid of, even if you're divorced, they will stay connected to your soul. And so you need to start plucking them people up out of there, like, oh, I got to heal from you, buddy, because if I don't, you're going to be involved in every relationship that I'm in, and you're going to tear it up. So you need, if you need to go get you some counseling, baby, go get some counseling. I am so sick. Listen here. I want y'all to think about counseling like air. Okay? Let me tell you something. I went and got back in counseling this year, and I am not ashamed to tell y'all. When I went through AFib and congestive heart failure in May, the week of my birthday, and then they had to shock my heart back into rhythm, and I had to look at a burn in the center of my chest where they put that thing for almost 2 months. Baby, I was messed up. I was like, oh my goodness. Lord, that messed me up, because I had to figure out how I got here. What did I do to get here? And what I need to do to change it. And now I'm feeling a little anxious, because, I'm scared to lay down and sleep for a while, because I thought I was going to drown, because I was picking up too much fluid. When I say it was traumatic, it was traumatizing for me. So guess what I did? I took my happy hind parts right on over there and got me a counselor. My doctor, who has been my doctor for over 20 something years, and she's one of my best friends. She said to me, I'm scared. She said, I've never seen you like this. And I've known you over 22, 23 years. And she said, you pull yourself through everything, but this right here, this has affected you harder than I've ever seen. Even through cancer. This was a punch that it don't look like you're doing too well with. I need you to go get counseling. Y'all, go get counseling. If your ex is no longer there and they are still ruining your life, go get some help walking through that stuff. Because what that's saying is there's a stagnancy there. You're stuck in a moment that you need to come out of. I always tell people, I can tell where you died at, because that's the place you stay. You stay in River. I remember back in 1972, honey, they used to do everything. And people, there was a man who used to say, back in the 70s, back in 75, your word was your bond. You give somebody your word, now don't nobody keep their word. That's where they're stuck. They died right there, and they never were able to move forward. Let me tell you something. When you've had your heart broken or something like that, and you're trying to move forward in a relationship, baby, it's hard, because they will always be fighting your ex until you get healed from him. Yes, I hear people say, they'll say people, I was sent to heal her. Do you know how draining that is? Do you know how draining it is for a person to have to come in and heal you? This guy said to me, another life coach, I dated a life coach at one point, and he said to me, Chanel, we have to stop. Men will tell a woman, I like you, but you need to get yourself together. He said, when is the last time a woman said that to a man? When a woman's going through something, a man say, I don't want to have nothing to do with you till you get yourself together. But we'll take him broken and all and not and try to heal them. Then we're broken, right? And so what I want to say is, listen, we need to start getting ourselves together. Stop putting responsibility on people to heal you, and it is not their problem to heal you. Now, if you want to talk to your spouse and say, hey, I'm going through some stuff, or this is bothering me, or I'm triggered, that's okay. But to dump your whole life on them for them to fix you is not fair. So I want you guys to start for yourself. Go get you some help and start talking through some stuff. Because let me tell you something. Going in, I didn't realize how layered this situation was for me to even get to congestive heart failure. All the things that led to it. Some of it was my fault, not sleeping and not, doing some of the stuff I was doing. And my body was like, no ma'am, I don't like this. Stress. I'm ripping and running and I'm stretched from one end of the earth to the other. And I wasn't thinking about, I had to take care of myself, right? And so you need to take responsibility for your own self to make sure that, you go to somebody that can help you. Yes, you can talk to God and you can pray, but I believe in God and therapy, and I keep hearing people say it, and I've said it for years. God and therapy working together is still a miracle from God. And I don't have time to talk about that. But get some counseling, get some help, because your exes that have gone on, but they're still stuck in you, are ruining your relationships. And that's a person you need to get out of your relationship. Not physically, but mentally. All right? So I pray that this long session that, will be broke up into clips and stuff on social media platforms. So y'all be looking out for that. I pray that this helps you, because I want to see people heal. I want to see people be able to be successful. All right? And knowing the right people to talk to in your relationship is important. All right? And I want all of us to get to a place where we have healthy, productive relationships. Because relationships don't have to be so hard. When you have two people that really want to make it work, you'll make it work. When you have two people that put those egos to the side, they make it work. When you have people that have set healthy boundaries around their relationship, my son will cut me in a minute if I go to say something. If I'm like, hey, and he'd be like, now wait a minute. I'm like, no. I wasn't saying that. That's not where I'm going with that. I was just asking a question, right? And so my son set up healthy boundaries at the age of 27. And I want you to know you need to learn to do the same. Because if you want your family to heal, then you got to make sure that you're doing the things that's needed to help it heal. So thank you for joining me on our session this evening. Make sure that you subscribe, you follow, and you share it with somebody. And make sure that you're working and doing your best to help heal the family. Listen, have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? If you have not, this is your chance. That's where the longer videos will be, because I want to make sure that I take the time to teach. A lot of times on these platforms, there's not enough time for us to give you a whole lot of information, but this gives us a chance to give you the information that you need. All right. And I think that it's important that we are now doing a lot of teaching. Listen, I am a minister, yes, but there comes a time when you need to put that to the side and you need to start teaching, because I believe our lives are the way they are because nobody has taught us how to live life. And nobody has told us how to be married. And nobody has told us about relationships. And nobody has told us how to work our money. Nobody's taught us things. And so this is the hour I believe that we're supposed to be teaching people and coaching them into a better reality. All right. And so I want to thank you all for watching this video. I want to thank you for being patient with me as I'm trying to navigate everything to make sure that I can give you good content every time that something hits my spirit. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. And until next time, let's heal the family.